trip. I don't see why you won't share with family.
My boyfriend replied, one more word and you're losing my Mount Abu offer. On hearing this, the cousin STFU'd.
Fucking god.
We all had dinner together and she was mercifully quiet. If only her kids had followed her example. You'd think this would be the end of it, but no. We had seriously underestimated her dedication to her caringness. On the morning of the day of our departure, the cousin showed up at my apartment with the kids in tow. I was shocked to see her, of course, and asked if something was wrong. She smiled and said,
Oh, I'm just here to drop off the kids. You're leaving tonight, right?
After taking a second to recover from the shock, I asked, did you fall and hit your head or something? We told you we are not taking your kids with us.
How can you say that,
Teammate, all you have to do is light.
What part of that did you not understand? She then tried to convince me that my boyfriend had called her later on and had agreed to take her kids. I knew this was nonsense and called it as such. The cousin became enraged and asked if I was going to break her kid's heart. Why would I break our promise? And how could my boyfriend and I be so cold?
Bruh.
I called my boyfriend, and after telling him what was going on, I turned on the speaker. My boyfriend proceeded to chew her out brutally right in front of her kids, telling her that he would no longer pay for their weekend getaway and that this is exactly the kind of behavior that made him cut ties with her. She tried to get a word in, but he wouldn't let her. The cousin took her kids and stormed off. My boyfriend and I are having a laugh over this and are still wondering what made her think that this plan would ever work. There was an update to this. This is the follow-up on the crazy cousin story. This morning, my boyfriend and I were on FaceTime with his sister. He told us all about what went down on the Karen front after the boyfriend and I left. Apparently, what part of that did you not? CC, the crazy cousin, had gone crying to her father and a few other relatives, including my boyfriend's sister, to complain about how my boyfriend is and, quote, set her up to be humiliated in front of her kids and how her kids are heartbroken. My boyfriend's sister simply hung up on her. The other relatives either laughed it off or tried to explain to her why she was in the wrong, all except her father. Her dad had the gall to go to my boyfriend's parents' house and yell at them for making his daughter and his grandkids cry. He whined on about how they had raised my boyfriend and his sister to be so selfish, how they needed to start acting like family, and a whole bunch of other nonsense. At first, my boyfriend's dad tried to stay calm and explain to his brother what had actually happened, but as it turns out, my boyfriend's uncle's logic receptors had stopped functioning a long time ago. CC, the crazy cousin, had gone crying to her father and a few other. He continued to whine and demand that my boyfriend fulfill his promise of paying for his daughter's family's weekend in Mount Abu. My boyfriend's dad is a very patient man. His mother is not. She never hesitates to shut down any of this nonsense. She tore into the cousin's dad, telling him that his daughter was a good-for-nothing piece of trash who thinks that the world owes her something. She also said that the only reason that she's allowed to come to their place, my boyfriend's parents' place, is because of their concern for her children. She gave my boyfriend's uncle an ultimatum. Either his daughter would apologize to my boyfriend and I, or they would cut ties with her completely. The uncle is a chauvinistic jerk and tried to tell my boyfriend's dad to, quote, get his wife under control. My boyfriend's dad simply told him to get out. He continued. CC, the crazy cousin, had gone crying to her and to not come. Parents have often helped his cousin and her husband financially and routinely buys gifts for their kids, and they've never asked for anything in return. My boyfriend's mother is usually a very kind and gentle lady, but the moment anyone attacks her kids, she turns into the mama bear to end all mama bears. My boyfriend's cousin probably doesn't want to fall out of favor with his parents. His sister knew that we may get a few annoying phone calls from her, so she could apologize during our vacation. So she took it upon herself to make it clear to the cousin that she is not to disturb us in any way.
Pussy. Nigga. Pussy ass nigga. Yeah.
We of course thanked her for being such an MVP. So with all of that said, who was the jerk? And to not come back unless it was to apologize. My boyfriend's parents have often helped his cousin and her husband financially and routinely buys gifts. And I asked them both to calm down and behave. My son started crying and told me that his cousin... Am I the jerk for throwing my sister and her son out of my house? I'm a 35-year-old male and I'm a single father of 3 boys, a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old. Their mother died last year due to ovarian cancer. It has been a rough year to say the least. My sister got divorced 6 months ago and temporarily moved in with me and the boys. She has a son, my nephew, who's 9, who stays with us most of the time. My nephew and my 10-year-old are not the best of friends, but so far they get along fine apart from some teasing from both sides. A few weeks ago, my 10-year-old started telling me that his cousin was bullying him and being mean to him. He called him names, pushed him around, took his video games, etc. I talked to my sister many times and told her to talk to her son. We talked to the boys together and things settled down. Yesterday was my 3-year-old's birthday, so my whole family was here and my late wife's family as well. It was extremely emotional for everyone because it was the first birthday since my wife's been gone.
Oh. No, I'm not. Just suck ass. For honor. For honor? What do you think it is? You clicked onto it.
The boys, the 10-year-old and the 9-year-old, started fighting again. Am I the... And I asked them both to calm down and behave. My son started crying and told me that his cousin teased him about not having a mom. I choked up and asked my nephew if that was true, and he said yes, but that he's sorry. I figured that I... have a proper talk with him and my sister after the party, so I just told him that what he said was really awful and he cannot say it again. I comforted my son and we went back to the party. Before we cut the cake, my sister came yelling at me, saying I had no business disciplining her child. I told her to drop it and we'll talk later. Instead, she said,
Besides, he's right. Kids need a mom.
I had tears in my eyes by that time, and she just said,
Say it's even turning you into a pansy.
My in-laws were crying. I was tearing up. The kids were upset. Just awful. And I asked them both to call. I told her to stop it and just leave me and the kids and the family to cut the cake, and we will talk in the evening. She said,
Listen, we both lost our spouses, but at least I'm still a normal person.
And then she stormed off. After the party, I told her she has 2 days to pack up her stuff and leave. She is begging me not to throw her out because she and her kids will be homeless. Am I the jerk for throwing her out? But before you decide, there was an update from the future. My mom agreed to take my sister in temporarily, and my nephew is still going to his dad's because now his dad is saying that there's no way he's letting my sister ruin their kid. Thank you to everyone for the kind words, and also to everyone who shared a story about losing a loved one. I am so very sorry for your loss. My nephew is supposed to leave tomorrow morning. My mom is picking my sister up right about at that time, and my in-laws are bringing my boys back in the evening. We'll have a little post-birthday thing for my little one when they come. Just me, the boys, and my in-laws. Just some ice cream. He said he prefers it over cake and a few cartoons, one day at a time. So, was I the jerk for throwing my sister? And I asked them both to...
My children are gaslighting my husband into thinking that I'm cheating on him with someone online, and I'm not sure what to do about it. So my marriage has been having some issues lately. Well, for the past 3 years to be exact. Eventually, I just quit nagging him, or even asking him to help me more with anything, or even just to discuss anything outside of happy, basic conversations. Because if it was anything other than that, it would always end in a fight. So I play video games, and so does my husband. He raids at least 3 days a week, and is on chat almost 6 days or more a week, while spending time with people on Discord for about 4 hours. Also, he plays games with friends he knows in real life. I have some friends too I game with, and we all know each other in real life, but because hanging out isn't feasible, mostly because my husband's jealous about men and women being alone together, we don't ever really get together. I've tried getting all my friends to come over to my house, both guys and girls with my husband, to maybe play cards or to eat dinner and stuff, but nobody ever really wants to.
Yeah. Bruh. Bruh. My game just completely crashed. My game.
My children are gaslighting my husband into thinking that I'm cheating on him with... So about 4 of us go online and we play some games and play a few rounds. Sometimes I play with someone one-on-one out of the 4, but I don't let it affect my